Namo Phat. Good morning. Thanks for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The second mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I vow to cultivate loving kindness and learn ways to work for the well-being of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I will practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. I'm determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. I will respect the property of others, but I will prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other species on earth. For our Dharma lesson, we've been reading Ajahn Chah's book, Everything is Teaching Us. This morning we're finishing a talk called Understanding Dukkha. The truth is that in this world of ours, there is nothing that does anything to anybody. There's nothing to be anxious about. There's nothing worth crying over, nothing to laugh at. Nothing is inherently tragic or delightful. But such experiencing is what's ordinary for people. Our speech can be ordinary. We relate to others according to the ordinary way of seeing things. That's okay. But if we are thinking in the ordinary ways, that leads to tears. In truth, if we really know the Dharma and see it continuously, nothing is anything at all. There is only arising and passing away. There's no real happiness or suffering. The heart is at peace then when there is no happiness or suffering. When there is happiness and suffering, there is becoming and birth. We usually create one kind of karma, which is the attempt to stop suffering and produce happiness. That's what we want. But what we want is not real peace. It's happiness and suffering. The aim of the Buddha's teaching is to practice to create a type of karma that leads beyond happiness and suffering, and that will bring peace. But we aren't able to think like that. We can only think that having happiness will bring us peace. If we have happiness, we think that's good enough. Thus we humans wish for things in abundance. If we get a lot, that's good. Generally, that's how we think. Doing good is supposed to bring good results, and if we get that, we're happy. We think that's all we need to do, and we stop there. But where does good come to conclusion? It doesn't remain. We keep going back and forth, experiencing good and bad, trying day and night to seize onto what we feel is good. The Buddha's teaching is that first we should give up evil and then practice what is good. Second, he said that we should give up evil and give up the good as well, not having attachment to it, because that is also one kind of fuel. Fuel will eventually burst into flame. Good is fuel, bad is fuel. Speaking on this level kills people. People aren't able to follow it, so we have to turn back to the beginning and teach morality. Don't harm each other. Be responsible in your work, and don't harm or exploit others. The Buddha taught this, but just this much isn't enough to stop. Why do we find ourselves here, in this condition? It's because of birth. As the Buddha said in his first teaching, the discourse on turning the wheel of Dharma, birth is ended. This is my final existence. There's no further birth for the Tathagata. Not many people really come back to this point and contemplate to understand according to the principles of the Buddha's way. But if we have faith in the Buddha's way, it will repay us. If people genuinely rely on the three jewels, then practice is easy. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for joining me today.